Welcome back to page 121. This is the second video I'm doing in regards to Traveler Ascension Imperial Warrant. This is a game that was on Kickstarter about 2015 and got published in 2019. I was recently at Adepticon, just outside Chicago. It's a primarily a tabletop wargame convention. Used to be mostly dedicated to Games Workshop, but there's many games that are there. While I was at the convention, I had the good fortune to run across Debbie and Jeff Billings, who run Lost Battalion Games, and they are the developers and publishers of the Traveler Ascension Imperial Warrant. As such, they had the full line of the game there. I was able to pick up the stuff I was missing, which was Expansion 2 and a whole bunch of these packs. So I'm going to show you what you get in Expansion 2 and then talk a little bit about the game overall. So Expansion 2, I have resisted temptation to open it until now. I'm going to take a look. Oh, this is so neat. I bought the base game in Expansion 1 from a secondary source, and it was already open and in questionable shape. But this is brand new out of the package. That's pretty exciting. This game has been around for a few years. The idea behind the game is that you are given an Imperial Warrant by the Emperor, Cleon Zenastu, at the dawn of the Third Imperium, and you are charged with reclaiming territories that had belonged to the Third Imperium, and now that the Long Night is concluded, you are charged with bringing them back into the fold. You and several other entities are given the Imperial Warrant, and you will find yourself working at cross purposes to other holders of these warrants. That's kind of the neat aspect of the game. This can be played in the base game for 1 or 2 players, and you can play solo. And then if you buy Expansion 1, you can play up to 4 players, and Expansion 2 lets you play 5 or 6 players. This works out beautifully because my group has 6 players that want to play this game. That's why I was so anxious to get my hands on Expansion 2. I now have enough that we can all sit and play the game. I had the good fortune of talking with Jeff Billings, who was one of the developers of this game, and he was able to give me a lot of insight into how to play the game. Frankly, I found the rules a little confusing, and I had 1 or 2 core ideas completely wrong. This game is still in print. I asked Jeff about that. It is still being printed, and his quote was, "We're never out of stock of it." It can be a little pricey to get into. This expansion set alone was $65. So the base game and the base game is, I think, $95, and then each expansion is $65. But for that money, you get an absolutely gorgeous amount of stuff. We have the little space tiles, which I'll explain when I get more into the game itself. Today I'm just going to do a content reveal. You get the various power bars. You get ships. This little pack of Traveler starships. These are the destroyers. You get cruisers and scouts, wherever the scouts are. You also get people. So little Traveler people to represent folks that are doing your bidding in the Imperial Warrant, in trying to execute your Imperial Warrant. It's a very neat game. My first video, I showed how it sets up. Oh, here's the scout. Yep. Nope, that's the soldier. You get soldiers. And as I say, this is just the expansion pack. So in the expansion pack, you get another set of rules for playing with 5 and 6 players. You get enough pieces to play with 5 and 6 players. So I'm pretty excited about that. You get the space tiles, as they're called, and then the society tiles and all that. This is all part of gameplay. I want to do a video of actual play, whether it's just me playing the solo mission or playing one of my players. I just have to get a little more skilled at the game. Jeff was very accommodating for me as far as teaching me how to play this game. The way you set the board up is you have 6 different things that you have to use. You have military and diplomacy. You get a couple of sets of those. You get shadow and science. And these all clip together. And then you get economy and movement. So they all link up like this. So you need these 6 elements. And then for each element, you're going to go ahead and you're going to have a sub-faction. And these sub-factions are going to be who you are. And you're going to have different sub-factions. And that's where you get them in the base game. Let me pull a few sub-factions here. Let me pull some sub-factions. So each of my factions then will connect down here. These are little boards that correspond color-wise. Military to the red, diplomacy to the purple, shadow gray, science blue, economic orange, and movement green. Now, I want to point out, I'm colorblind, yet I can still see the colors and differentiate it enough that I'm able to use it and enjoy the game. There are 2 sides you can play also. I actually have these mixed now that I'm looking at it. You have the gold side, which is the simpler version of the game, so when you're first learning it, you can go ahead and have less rules to deal with. And then you have the more advanced version of the game, which is probably going to be the version I'm going to just work with when I start playing it. I want to find the red. Huh. There we are. And then this is the more advanced version. So the gold coloring on this one shows that it's more beginner status, and this is the more advanced status. Each of these boards shows what you can do in each of those groups, and then this represents your faction. So each faction is going to have different powers and abilities, and you're going to have a noble house, a corporation, and another corporation. So what you want to do is you want to mix and match these to the faction you want to play. So if you want to play someone that's involved in a lot of stealth and that kind of stuff, you're going to want to get this expansion pack, the Shadow Pack. And each of these packs comes with, let me find one I've already opened. This is the Imperial Marine Pack. Each of these packs comes with their own little board that I can use, and 16 cards that I mix into my base deck, and I can go ahead and I can call up special things only for my faction. So it's kind of neat. I like the idea that you can go ahead and develop individual factions, and that was one of the things I went to Adepticon hoping to get, and in fact I did get all of the expansions. There are 17 of these packs that were available just for purchase, and I was able to get the 14 I did not have. I got 3 in the initial game when I bought it off the secondary market, and then I was able to get my hands on the remaining packs. So there's 8 of them, and then some more. So with this, I have a virtually unlimited ability to play the game and to play special scenarios with the game. These torn ones represent the ones I got in the pack that was sold me as near mint. It was by no means near mint. It was rather battered, but. And then the last one is this guy. So I have a total of 17 of those guys, which is all that they made. And I can go ahead and I can swap out and do different things. So again, as I learn the game more and more, I'm going to be going ahead and introducing different elements to the game. If I want somebody who's really good at free trading, for instance, I want to build a trade empire to get my Imperial Warrant and get worlds back into the fold and do it through trade, I would use the Far Trader. If I want to use it through military might, I would use the Fleet Tactician, and so on. That's what each of these packs is designed to do. A diplomatic envoy. The idea there is you're going to go ahead and you're going to bring them back in because they fall in love with you. You are such a good faction. In order to rejoin the Imperium, you give them a good diplomatic deal. So that's the idea behind the entire game. I am still learning it, but I am going to show an actual demo of the game sometime down the line once I get a little more skilled at it. I've tried a couple of scenarios so far, and frankly, I'm not able to explain it well enough to do it while I play. So I'm going to hold off until I get a little more skilled. But this was the last bit of it that I had to get. There were a couple other packs like these, but they only came with the Kickstarter, and I don't have access to any of those. Not sure how many of those were duplicated here. I really don't know. But as far as availability, you can find it on some aftermarkets. I know Noble Knights Games has it, and there are a few things listed on eBay. And you can get it through the Lost Battalion Games website, but they are currently between websites. They are in the process of changing over websites. So their current website says that their certificate's no good and you have to wait. And I talked to Jeff Billings about that over the weekend, and he said, yeah, that is true. Their site is currently not active, but it will be very soon, and the games will be available there. They're also available on the Daring Play website. Daring Play was the company under which this was published. Daring Play website has everything available that you see here. The add-on packs are $11 each, $10.95 each, and there are a total of 17 of them. So the buy-in on the game is kind of stiff if you're going for the entire game. This took me a while to go ahead and get the whole thing, but and it was actually an early birthday gift from my wife and my oldest son that enabled me to get all these parts. So I'm pretty excited about sitting down and reading it over. I do want to say this has a great flavor of Traveler. It does feel like Traveler while you play it. The parts are top flight. I'm really impressed with this game. I'm impressed with the game contents, and I feel it was worth the purchase. This was one of the things I had not bought when it came out, and I considered to be kind of missing out of my Traveler collection, so I have solved that. So I will be going over this more in detail at a future video. And if you have any questions or comments about the game to this point, I'll do my best to answer any questions about gameplay or anything I might have missed in this little portion, just discussing what's available. But just wanted to show what I got at Adepticon over the weekend. Pretty darned exciting. I happened to find their booth immediately upon walking into Adepticon and just grabbed up everything I could. Right then. Oh, there's the scouts. I couldn't find them earlier. It's a little pack of scouts. So it's kind of neat. You get these little acrylic ships that you use as markers on the game board. You have little planets. It's a nice setup. I like the way this sets up. I enjoy the rules. I just have to get more proficient in them. So that's all I've got to say today on page 121. Let me know what you think. If this is a game that you are interested in and you want to see me do more on, please let me know. If it's something that leaves you cold, I'd like to know that too. I try to make the channel custom to what my viewers are interested in. So that's it for today. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on page 121.